Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales from the Shattered Lands, coming at you live from Game Room 5 here at the Tavern of Tales in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm your Dungeon Master, Jake, and these are our lovely players. Playing Glimmer tonight is Nico.
Hello, everyone.
Eidolon is being played by Austin.
Hello.
Jason is playing White Scales.
Hello.
Quinn is playing Ashrin.
Hi, folks.
And playing Sir Gwydion the Guileless is Lily the Guileless.
Oh, thank you.
We have fun here. As I said, we are Tavern of Tales. We are a board game bar at the Mission Hill neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts. We set up this stream so that we could stick together through these strange times and also entertain you folks along the way. We're also now Twitch affiliates, thanks to everyone who have followed us and tuned in week after week. It helps out a lot. If you'd like to help out even more, please smash that subscribe button, ring that bell, whatever it is that you do on Twitch. Our lovely CEO takes care of all this stuff for me, so all I have to do is shout cliches into the mic, and hopefully you guys throw us those subscriptions. So thank you very much. But if you're also looking for something else to do with your time in lockdown, we are also offering a free online Dungeons and Dragons campaign set in the world of Eberron. Play with me and these lovely folks as we become your DMs, and you become exquisite aeronauts, making your way around the world in the giant airship known as the Ghost of Galifar. We run every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, starting at 6 p.m. Our most recent season has just kicked off. We're running 4 sessions on Saturday at 6 p.m. You can sign up now if you head to tavernoftales.com/DND. That's D as in Dungeons, N as in the second letter of and D as in dragons, to join our Discord, create a character, and sit in on one of our sessions. It's always a lot of fun. We'd love to see you there. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Last time, the party bid adieu to Lady Halvern and Larkin and continued south with their blessings and some gifts. On the way, Ashrin read the book that they had found on the Red Palm commander that was assaulting the tower, indicating that he had first joined the group at a tavern called the Punctured Heart in Rainmere. They decided to follow up on that lead and met a shady gnome named Fats Rolly. He tasked them and some of the members of the party who were in disguise as ruffians and thugs with tracking down and killing someone named Pavel Dieter, who was described as a thorn in the side of the Red Palm as their sort of initiation right into this organization that they're trying to take down. They managed to extract themselves from the bar without a fight and left for the inner walls for some more safe sleeping arrangements. The next morning, they went to the central balance of the Singing Crows to turn in their bounty of Garrick Heartkeeper, the once great and scary necromancer laid low by the Plague of Madness. After some tense negotiations with a banker, they were left with their debts cleared and around 1,000 gold each burning in their pockets. They struck out into the city to go on a shopping spree. Notably, Sir Gwydion purchased a beautiful warhorse that currently has no name. Please post your suggestions for warhorse names in the chat. During this venture, a little girl raced up to Ashrin with a note from a mysterious man telling Ashrin to follow him. The man, watching from a block up, turned into an alley and ushered them into a door. He introduced himself as Pavel Dieter, the very same man they were previously tasked to kill, and the so-called greatest detective in the Free Cities. He offered the group a gift, a tied-up and bound member of the Red Palm. Through interrogation, they learned where Camp Eagle was, the second largest camp of the Red Palm in the Free Cities, and the location of one of the Red Palm's dead drops, a location where their agents drop off materials so that they can secure them and send them to their proper places. It is the third Gore's Day of Piketide, year 996 of the Great Silence. The day is named for the Duke of Iron, Gorgast. The month is named for the Duke of Strife, Fineem, and the year is named for their absence from the world. We join the group as they're wrapping up their conversation with the strange detective gnome, Pavel Dieter, standing over a charmed Red Palm member under the spell of Ashrin. Don't all jump in at once.
We leaving? What are we doing? It's out of character. I'm just wondering.
Well, no. Dieter said he was going to fill us in on anything we forgot to ask, and he also said he was going to take this guy to jail, even though I wanted to kill him. So, take him to jail. I don't know.
I suppose we should ask what is Pavel going to fill us in on if we miss any questions that were of importance that, since we're not master detectives, he might have asked.
Oh, are you going to ask him that?
Yeah. I would just probably ask him if he thinks that there's any more relevant information.
You've gotten the most of it. You got about everything that I had. So unless you have any specific questions about a book that might be in your possession, I don't know if I can guide you anymore. A lot of this was kind of a test of you to see if you were the type of people that I would like to work with.
Did we pass the test?
Yes and no. You're a little reckless, I would say. A little loose cannon for my tastes. You decided to charm him rather than torture him, which is always a big plus in my book. But here we are.
Curious, what about this encounter made you think we were more loose cannon than, say, some other things we may or may have not done in the past that you claim to know about, but I don't want you to speak of until you can confirm that?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, unless you mean killing Garrett Heartkeeper, which is a big task in and of itself. About this situation, when you entered the room, you didn't check underneath the beds or into the cupboards for any waiting traps. You followed a strange man into an alley. Some of you willingly drank bourbon prepared for you by a stranger. And
it was delicious, by the way.
You're welcome. And I'm afraid if I was not here, maybe the results of this interrogation would end differently.
I just have to rebuke that. You just dragged in 5 strangers into this place. 5 against 1 doesn't seem very smart now, does it? Or 4 because Sir Gwydion isn't here.
But unless I'm mistaken, you don't have any trouble with me, do you?
No, but I'm just saying you feel like we're reckless, but you just dragged in 4 strangers off the street.
I have my ways and my tricks.
Then so do we.
All right, this is besides the point. I don't think we should be sparring like this right now.
He's like,
he's considering
him. You can see you've put him into like a weird spot where he's like, huh, yeah, maybe I don't know these people as well as I think I do. I've done a lot of research on you, and I know some things about you. I wouldn't dare to attempt to blackmail any of you for your past. I think you've paid your recompense to the Singing Crows already. So we can let all of these histories flow under the bridge as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so what's next? What's the next step here?
Well, we'll take the agent to the police station, and I want to know if you want in on my plan to save the country.
You have a plan to save the country?
Yes.
Okay.
From my understanding, the Red Palm is a very hierarchical organization with this Asher figure at the top. if we can do good detective work now and early, we can find out where his camp is, and then send a loose cannon and brave party of, I don't know, 5 people to go assassinate him.
Oh,
We cut off the head of the beast, and the rest will shrivel up sooner rather than later.
that's your entire plan?
I mean, do you have a better one?
I'm just wondering if there's more details, because just striding into the camp and killing Asher is probably, it's not as simple as that, I don't think.
Well, we would have to know the location of the camp first, and then we
yes,
can
sure.
start our casing and our groundwork for that leg of the journey. But for now, we need to figure out who Asher is and where his citadel is planted.
How do we do that?
Good detective work. So my suggestion would be to stake out the dead drop, track down the agent that is meant to check it, and then shake him down for any information that he might have that this assassin did not. The one who checks the dead drop is bound to be a superior with a little bit more information. And then we act on that until the trail leads back to someone with enough clout in the group to know where the citadel is. Or you could just assault Camp Eagle and see how that leads you. But those are the options on the table as I see them.
I'll like glance to the rest of the party to see their opinion.
I'm pondering.
I'm like staring off at the wall. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm not really paying as much attention.
Oh, true. You do have a thing you got to deal with. You got like a.
What? Mr. Dieter, can we think on this offer a bit? It is kind of it's a big one. You just kind of spring in on us out of nowhere. Though I don't want to presume, but I think most of us are interested in stopping the Red Palm, considering that they kind of don't want to kill us. But maybe we think on this.
Someone's breathing really hard into their mic.
Yeah.
That's me. Sorry.
Yes, it wouldn't be right of me to spring this on you and not give you time to think it out. That's very careful of you. It's making me readjust my assessments. Very well. Should we rendezvous somewhere discreet, and you can let me know if you'd like to join me on my stakeout tonight?
That sounds okay. We've got some business we need to take care of shortly, so I don't know if we can meet you tonight.
You said that you wanted to do a stakeout on
the dead drop that the interrogated man divulged.
I'm gonna like put my hand on Whiteskill's shoulder and look in his eyes, and so he's not surprised by this. And I'll mind ping him, and I will say, "Do you think this man might be able to help you find Asher? I mean, not Asher. Sorry, find Raylan."
I can talk back without verbally talking. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I have an idea as to where we can get this information without him. I just don't want to put in my cards. Yes.
That's fair.
Also, we should confer with Sir Gwydion before we make any promises.
Yes.
True.
We are missing a
he
member.
He is the decision maker for this group. He makes all the decisions.
A reckless sort that makes your decisions before you have time to speak about them. Yes.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, yes.
That is right.
Oh, yeah. But he has a noble heart, so.
A noble heart is a great thing to have.
The noble title might be a little bit false, though.
He has a noble brain too. That's a little less good.
He's got some kind of brain.
I know everything about this title that you speak of. I know a lot about all of you.
How?
Rehash it. I did my
Let me guess. Good detective work.
Good detective work.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
The singing crows are
Follow
money.
us?
The singing
Okay.
crows are money oriented. You just know which pressure points to bribe in the right way, and you get a lot of records. I'll leave it at that. That's another service I can provide for you. I can make those records go away now that you are out of the crows.
Sure.
Maybe a little tit for tat.
I would like that.
Yes. Well, we certainly do have lots to think about. Where would be a good rendezvous for you?
Let's meet somewhere near the dead drop, about a block away on Lion Street. There's a speakeasy called In Like a Lion Laundry there. Meet me across the street from it.
Okay. And if
Yes.
if something were to go wrong, I'd like to tell him where we're staying because I assume he could figure it out anyway, and we might have to be like hide or something later. So I can't remember the name of the inn.
He like pulls out his like notebook. You're staying in the Boar's Tusk, right?
Yes. So that's If we cannot make it to the rendezvous, please consider seeking us out there.
Okay. And you have some other business that you're trying to take care of today, aren't you?
Yes.
You're traveling with an enforcer. He's making eye contact with White Scales.
I'm notably looking like to the side, but I am making eye contact at the corner of my eye.
What do you
Yes.
mean enforcer?
If you're planning on heading to that place, just make sure that you cover your trail wisely on your way back to wherever you stay tonight.
Cool.
Well, why?
Bad people live there.
Organized crime glimmer.
Welcome to Rainmere. Bad people live on every corner of this place.
And especially the Red Palm. If you encounter any Red Palm, they're on the lookout for you. So this group of 5, quite conspicuous. I don't think you'll be safe so long as you possess that book, whatever that book is that they're talking about.
Well, for one of the best detectives, have you found out anything about this book?
I have no idea what it's referring to.
Okay.
My only lead on you folks was the Red Palm order to kill you, and that made you a person of interest and a potential ally. So
Yes.
whatever secrets you have in that book, of course, I would suggest that you can trust me with them, but I understand your position.
Well, let's get back to you in general on that one. Well, Mr. Zita, I won't say it's been a pleasure, but it's been interesting to meet you. Thank you for your gift.
It's been very efficient.
It's been efficient. I can agree to that. Thank you for your gift, and we'll talk to you soon, I suppose.
Very
I don't
well.
want to, if anyone's else got anything, let's scoot.
He stands in the room watching you as you leave. Eidolon, as you are moving your way out the door, you can see out of the corner of your eye a flickery and familiar blue shape just kind of floating there like a issue in your perceptive cortex, whatever robot term you use for it. And it's a familiar looking dwarven figure covered in a face tattoo and black robes. And it just kind of lingers there like a specter at the corner of your eye.
And they're inside the room, correct? Or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you walk through the city and out the door, it appears kind of at the edge of your vision at all times.
Okay. Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell anyone about that because they'll think I'm crazy, but
It's like an eye floater, but it's a dwarf instead.
Yep. Good use of metaphor.
Yeah, let's find Sir Gwydion.
After
Sir
we're-
Let's
Gwydion,
read-
roll 1d100, please.
I gotta, okay, fine. Are we deciding whether or not I've gotten lost in the city or robbed in the city?
No, I'm just I have a like 1d100 random events table. I'm just trying to figure out what situation you're in.
Wonderful. Then I have rolled a 40.
40. Sir Gwydion is not hard to find. He is currently midway through a spirited and losing debate between one of the local market hands about what is the superior oat to feed a warhorse. Sir Gwydion,
I swear by Quaker.
Sir Gwydion has his own sort of knowledge on it, and this guy mostly feeds camels, and he's insisting that it's pretty much the same thing.
It is not the same thing. Your camels need to have a lot of water intake, but if you give a horse that, they're just going to be farting the entire time. Do you want a farting warhorse? That is not the aesthetic that I want. This is clearly not superior oats, and I refuse to buy it at the price you're giving me.
Well, superior is superior, but you also got to think of calories per square inch. Now, you're going to have these things full of saddlebags. You got to weigh storage needs with, total energy output. All that extra like farting that you're experiencing is energy overflow.
I would like for this to go on until 9 p.m., please. Thank you. I want you guys to have this conversation.
Should we step in here, or should we just let them have their fun?
It doesn't look like he's having fun.
And a warhorse. So if I don't, I need a heavier grain than that, and I will give it to you at how much gold do I have? 5 gold per barrel.
5 gold per barrel.
Yep.
So
What
I'm
is-
gonna like put. I'm gonna put my hand on Sir Gwydion's shoulder from behind him and be like, Sir Gwydion, we don't have a means to carry barrels. I hope you know that. Let's find a different place selling oats, okay?
Look,
Hello.
don't you know, like a tiny...
Also, we have some exciting news to tell you about a quest.
Right. Well, here you go. Here's
Quest.
45 gold. I want you to send
West.
it to this. I want you to send it to the, what are we going to? The Husked Hotel?
The boar's tusk.
Boy's Tusk.
Yes, that place.
How much gold are you? Are you getting 5 barrels of oats sent to the hotel?
Yes, one for each horse.
How? Okay. How are we going to carry those?
I will show the size
Is it
of
like
the
a
barrel. It's
keg?
like a
Oh,
couple
it's-
of pounds.
Like the ones
like
that
a
go on
keg,
St.
not a-
Bernard's neck.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
it's
like
not
a can.
it's not like a wine barrel. I thought you were buying 5 wine barrels.
Like
of
a
oats.
giant oak barrel, yes.
It's the size of the oat containers. It's a tiny barrel, but it has full of 32 fluid ounces of oats.
I
It
have
has a
written up
carving of a little man on it.
each horse
Sir
has
Gwydion, are they steel cut? I hope they are.
all right.
My Irish breakfast.
This man, and they will send it to the Boar's Head Hotel.
But it's not
The
the
Boar's-
Boar's. That's the
Dead.
Deli Meat Company. God damn it.
Sir, you've said the names of 3 different hotels.
Sorry, I'm sorry for my friends. It's the Boar's Tusk. That's what it is.
Boar's tusk.
Yes.
Keep a leash on him, all right? And then he
Yeah, he would like that actually.
Excuse me. I would not.
they move away and start preparing the order, and you're left on the city
I
streets.
feel quite disrespected right now, but at least the horses are getting fed.
You want to hear about the quest?
Anyway,
Yes. Where did you guys go? I mean,
we met. He called himself a detective. Let's see about that. But he had quite a lot of information on the Red Palm. Provided us with a witness who gave us some good intel on them, and offered us to join him on his quest to save the country and destroy the Red Palm, which I think is worth considering that we know that they want to kill us. So that might be good.
is it smart to talk about it out here then?
Probably shouldn't have.
Yes, this I believe was the part of the recklessness that he spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's been a while since anyone ever listened. Anyway, was listening. Well, I do believe that we should discuss this at some point, but we have business today that we've decided on. So
Yeah, no, I have no plans. Honestly, I'm here to ride with you guys and support White Scales in whatever's going down tonight.
Yes, White Scales. Are you ready to do this?
I don't think I could be if I had 100 years, but this is what we're doing. I actually have my own input on the Pavel Dieter situation anyways. When we get back to the inn, I would like to share that with you.
All right, well, let's head that way then.
The group picks their way through Rainmere. It is raining in Rainmere. It's a constant heavy downpour. It starts a little bit afternoon, and you are very glad to get back into the Boar's Tusk, where there's a hot fire burning and a few locals drinking and having lunch.
I checked the table for traps.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
I checked the innkeeper for traps.
That's 10.
Okay. Fail. Everyone roll a dex save.
Oh no.
Are we really?
No.
Okay.
You all take 69 d10 points of fire damage.
Nice.
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 Yep, you're at the table. You can look at the locals and kind of eyeball them. They don't appear to be interested in listening to your conversation.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
It's fairly simple. It's just I don't trust him with any of our information quite yet. He gave us 2 leads.
Me neither.
Excellent. Although I would raise that the Shadowport may be a better place to get information around here. There are always individuals there, and as he said, there are Red Palm members there. Whatever information he wants to get from staking out that dead drop, he called it, I'm sure we would be able to attain if we spent some time there.
I agree that while he cannot be trusted wholly, I believe that he is a very important ally to ours, and I do believe that we should at least attempt to meet him tonight at the drop point. After all, he's wanted by the Red Palm, so how much of a facade can he really put up?
Yes, I do think we could use him, and after all, we are at least temporarily in the same boat, so I think we should consider working with him, but not trusting him too far. I think that is probably best. But if we don't need him, we don't need him. So.
Well, regardless, we should still at least meet him tonight to tell him of our plans. What time is it currently?
It's a little bit afternoon. So you would have about 8 hours before you would want to rendezvous with him.
So White Scales, I don't know if you want to handle this tonight, but we can at least gather some information.
Yes. Whatever works.
So you're planning on heading to the Shadowport then, right now, immediately, or do you have anything else to do?
I don't have anything else.
White Scales, do you need a disguise, do you think?
I think it would be better if I didn't wear one.
Why?
I have a little bit of renown in that area.
But once you announce your presence, Raylan will know you're here. Will he be coming after you if he knows you're here?
He expects me to come to him.
I feel that we are the ones who should be in disguise, or at least a little bit more fitting in. There's nothing much that I can do. However, Sir Gwydion, Ashrin, and Glimmer, you all seem like you wouldn't be the types to go to the Shadowport.
I would be the type. I can rub some dirt on my face. Is that how it works?
Well, can't we just...
Would that work, White Scales, or?
Not quite.
Oh, what do I need to look like?
I want to kind of like scan the room to see if I would be able to like recognize anyone that looks like they're into more shady business.
Underground pit fighting.
Not at the Boar's Tusk.
I can pretend. I can pretend very, very, very well. I can use my family name. I mean,
Sir Gwydion, I believe that is the opposite of what we would wish to attract. Anybody who sees a knight coming into the Shadowport, I'm sure, would not bring good attention.
A very quick mark, actually.
well,
The
so
other thing being Eidolon,
would that just mean they
too
don't
much-
trust us? Sorry, I was
It's
just
not-
saying, like, if we're able to deceive them, they won't trust us. They'll underestimate us. That's how I get through my life. I don't know if you guys haven't figured that out yet.
I do feel it might all be a moot point regarding Eidolon, though, who is difficult to put a disguise onto.
Well, actually, I mostly have passed off myself as a animated suit of armor for protection. I don't know when the last time I saw one wandering around with an accomplice was, but
Or perhaps me and you could be somebody else's bodyguards. You just make a whole story for it, right?
If we were to pass Lady Ashran off as a noble, that might work.
I can
White
do
Skills,
that
I
one very
have
well.
devil horns. Does that not make me seem shady?
Is he racist?
I mean, it's just the association.
It's
Well, not
less
everyone has that.
the appearance and a little bit more of the personality.
What, do I need to be more of a piece of shit?
Yes.
Yes.
I can dial that up.
Okay.
I'm just asking you if I need the disguise or not. I have a way to do it.
You should be all right.
Okay.
so do you believe it's wise that we pass Ashrin as a lady of nobility and Sir Gwydion and I as her escorts?
That would
Who
work.
am I in this situation then?
The valet?
You can be my other escort. That kind,
Okay.
you know.
Huh? Excuse me?
Sorry,
I'm down for that.
it's part of the disguise.
Here, let me just fix that, and Eidolon takes a shirt. No.
White Skills, is that normal?
I mean, many things happen in the Shadowport.
then-
Nothing is particularly unusual there.
So it's just like, here's my 2 body cords and my boy toy that I'm taking around with me on a trip. I'm letting him get outside today. Okay, sure.
And here's where the leash comes in,
Yes.
I'm assuming.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, if it's more convincing.
Basically,
So
I mean, you could just go. I mean, if you would like to go separately as a different sort of patron or whatever, but
Ideally, nobody will ask us who we are. And if they do, then we have an answer.
so White Scales, you know that there are 2 ways to get to the Shadowport.
Mhm.
There is a from Rainmere, you can take like a keelboat from Olivier's spice stand to sail around the horn of the map. I've marked it in Roll20. To sail around a little bit of the horn and in through like the waterlogged cave that makes it an actual port.
Mhm.
Or you can head on the road north towards Tammy Taggart's tannery and oh man, I have a whole list of things. Where is it? Anyway, you can go to Tammy Taggart's and it's like a general store that's a front for the Shadowport, and then there's a tunnel road that goes down from there that you can use.
That makes sense. Is it fair to make the assumption that the boat entrance is primarily used as a less like merchants or the common people that would be there for whatever betting or any unsavory business, while the front entrance would most likely be at Tammy's?
It doesn't really matter. The
Okay.
port is used for the ultra wealthy that comes through like on boats from faraway lands. The Tammy Taggart's is used for people from like more the interior of the city. Either way, you know, it's whatever. Tammy Taggart's is where most people like sleep when they're doing business long term in the Shadowport.
Gotcha.
Before we take off, can we hang out at the tavern for like another half an hour so I can have a short rest to get the spell slots I spent shopping yesterday back?
Shopping yesterday.
Today.
Okay.
Like Wednesday. I don't know what's time.
You can already have that done. Talking to Pavel was okay.
So we have the two entrances. Either one works.
Well, if I'm going to be a noble, we should probably be using the one for the wealthy. The other thing is, how long do you think we'll be in there for? With a disguise self spell, or I'll figure it out. Never mind.
I think that we'll be all right. How long does the spell last for?
An hour, but it's not as hard to get away and reapply it as you would think.
I assume by the time that we get out of there, we should. This spell may fail, but I don't think we'll need a disguise for that long.
What about practical disguises then? Do you need a more permanent, temporary permanent kind of disguise if magic is not to be trusted?
I think we should have more of an exit plan. If things go south, we should not be drawing the attention to where we actually reside. Therefore, I believe we should all split up if any problems occur.
How would we meet back up again?
Well, we go different paths in Rainmere and meet back up at the Elephant's Tusk.
Fair enough. I think that sounds good. And we'll have to trust White Scales to actually find a way out of the compound. I assume you know a few, at least hopefully one.
I should be able to manage that. Provided I get out of this alive.
There's only two. There's the two entrances are also the two exits.
Okay. But like if we're like in a room in the middle of the building, or like White Scales can help us get away. Okay.
He knows. White Scales, you'd have been all around the Shadowport except for in the back of the house of the main auction area. You know that there's like a big compound back there, but only the higher ups are allowed to get back there.
Makes sense.
And our goal is to find any information we can to find Raylan.
Or the Red Palm, but yes, if Raylan is not there, then he's at his manor in town.
So
do you have a plan for Raylan?
Polite conversations with this man first.
Do you have a plan for Raylan, White Scales, or can we emotionally support you in that conversation?
About that, it may not be for the best for me to talk to him on my own.
Of course.
I do fear that when it comes to dialogue, especially with him, he has the upper hand. And if faced with him alone, I fear that I may back down from my decision. You all are vastly better at this conversation than I am, so I feel I would be at ease if you were to assist me.
If you need someone to yell that you want to be free, I am more than happy to do so for you.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to serve you in this, but I would like to know now, you are sure? Any hesitation we see from you in there, you're sure that this is what you want us to do? Is to help you with this?
It's that or live my life as a slave. Yes.
Okay. Then count on it.
I will help you in defense if you are attacked. Unfortunately, my programming prevents me from breaking any contracts that other individual may have created, whether it was or against their will.
Technically, I didn't make the contract, but yes.
Breaking any sort of contracts necessarily.
I understand.
We, if before we do this, if we're going to be helping you convince him, I would like to know what you think would be most convincing to him. What sort of arguments he would listen to and which ones he wouldn't. If I told him that you have stumbled upon something which seems to be connected to a broad world-spanning conspiracy, and that you need the freedom to pursue that. Would that convince him? Yeah, it might be hard to believe, but would it convince him? If I told him that you're free of the crows now, so legally you're your own person, would that convince him?
I doubt it.
If I told him that if he tried to come for you, that we would slit his throat, would that convince him?
That would definitely get the point across. I suppose playing to his ego may help. I haven't seen him in a little while. So it's difficult to know exactly what to say. If I'm being honest, my plan was to walk in and demand my freedom. So I'm not really sure what to say here.
What kind of thing would play off his ego?
He is a very wealthy man. He doesn't need me or the money that I provide him. And despite my unique disposition towards him, I am not necessary to his future.
So if I told him that you, with our help, could get famous and through that earn him renown by connecting his name to you, would that be convincing?
That may be better. That may work. Additionally, I believe playing to him as a merchant, he could benefit off of the reputation of setting me free as well, which might work as well. Yes, that would work.
I'm having a few ideas.
Good. Unfortunately, my mind is starting to go blank. We should get this over with before I back out.
Indeed. I suppose you know the way White Scales.
Yes.
We are behind you.
Thank you.
Cool. You're making your way to Tammy Taggart's. How are you traveling? Are you bringing your horses?
How far is the ride?
It would be walking like an hour, half an hour if you rode.
I'd be fine just walking.
I think it's a little more difficult to slip away on horses if that's something we're concerned about. So maybe we should walk.
I agree.
Agreed.
What's Sir Gwydion doing?
Sir Gwydion will take care of the horses and leave them at the inn.
Okay.
Make sure that the stable hand has a good gold coin to take care of them.
Okay. And the group heads out of the northwestern gate of Rainmere. Walking through, you have to head through the wealthier district of Rainmere on your way through. You get a little bit of like looks like you're not supposed to be in this section of town, but no one kicks you out directly. They just look at you funny. White Scales, you lead them through the gate and into the shanty town at the other end of the wall, and into like the thinning, very edges of the city. And there you see the familiar sight of Tammy Taggart's tack tannery and tavern and trading post. You know your way around this area. Above board, it looks like a standard like trading post in sort of complex with a lot of people just staying around, wary travelers and that sort. To get into the Shadowport, you need to say some special things to Wholeness, the dwarf who runs the stables behind. You need to tell him that you need to talk to John Doe about storage.
Can I, before we continue, can I say that I attuned to the Wand of Wound closing that I bought?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure that I am okay.
Wand of Wound closing is a DM Jake Tot original homebrew magic item. Don't at me.
Woohoo!
Should we also, real quick, while we're walking in, make sure we distribute health potions, just in case?
Yeah, how would you like to do that?
I think everyone should have one, and then I should have 3, and I should take the juice machine because I can cast a life transference if I need to. Okay.
The juice machine being the syringe.
Yeah.
The Juicero. $400 juice machine that squeezes the bottle for us.
And let me just say that, even though we didn't do disguises, I do have noble clothes in my background. So like I'm dressing to be the noble. So let's go.
And just before I forget, I will conjure a halberd. Actually, no, a greatsword. A greatsword. For defensive weapon.
I am wearing my armor of gleaming splint mail.
Okay.
So it is jingling fabulously and sparkling in every little torchlight that we walk by.
I'm just chilling out.
He is very noticeable.
Glimmer, you're not. I'll be like, are you doing anything, Glimmer, to alter yourself to your character?
Should I like unlace my tunic a little bit? Should I like?
I don't think it would hurt.
Is this a ploy?
No, you sicko.
Okay,
I'm just trying to get the mission to succeed.
I'll roll up my sleeves and unlace. I'm letting it all out. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm wearing my tightest leather pants. I'm casting a large reduce, if you know what I mean.
Eidolon nudges Glimmer and says, "Don't worry, I know where true courtship lies," and just kind of gives like a little nod, and then just goes back up.
What does that mean? I'm asking that as a player and as a character.
If you really want to sell it, I think that you should call Ashrin Miss or Mistress.
Ashrin, what would you?
Nico, I'd like to remind you.
I'm the guy who responded to the Craigslist ad. What do you want me to say? Woo! I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love fighting dragons in a dungeon. I love doing it. I love this game.
Oh my! You'll make your DM blush.
Fuck.
Something
information we got White Scales leading the group as like the enforcer / guy who knows the speak. We've got Lady Ashrin, who's posing as a noble, and Glimmer as her boy toy, and then Eidolon and Gwydion are like the bodyguards.
The
like
muscle.
The muscle. This is the formation they go into. So you head around the tavern complex of Tammy Taggart's, and you see a well-kempt dwarf busy feeding horses and motioning around the stable.
And it was I need to speak to John Doe about some storage.
Yep.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. I believe I need to speak to John Doe about some storage down below.
All right. I recognize you, don't I?
I would hope so.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Moves into the stable and pulls a torch sconce, and the middle part of the stable where the horses would kind of come out of their stalls and out the front door very slowly and silently tilts down to form a ramp that meets a wide stone door that could fit a carriage, you think, through it. Hurry up now.
Thank you. Let's go. And I'll walk down.
Yep. You enter into the darkness. You head down this tunnel for about 10 minutes. It's like a very tight, narrow spiral staircase, and it opens up into a larger cave lit by lanterns and candles and torches. You can see a few carriages are parked here with various drivers waiting around, as well as some people offloading crates and things from other carriages. There's a little sign over some of the carriages that says taxi service. From here, it's about a 3-hour walk if you want to walk, or a half-hour carriage ride.
The carriage ride costs money.
You can ask.
Normally, we
carriage
would
ride.
take the carriage. I
Well-
don't think we want to march.
Oh, sorry, wait, Skills, how far away is this place? Did not realize.
It's well hidden.
Yes, apparently. I personally don't want to waste 6 hours walking today. I think we should contact a carriage. But I also think that, I don't know, perhaps White Skills, you may have some more leverage with them, and also very unseemly for a lady like me to hire a carriage if you want to do that.
I'm more
Yes.
than happy to do so for you with the money that I have.
Well, with Gwydion's money and my renown here, I think that we can make it work. With me, then?
Let's go.
And I want to approach the carriage, and when I get up to it, I want to knock on the side of it.
The curtain comes undone, and you can see a figure, some black feathers with a long black beak. Opens up the carriage and looks at you, and then closes the curtain and opens it up, and it goes. It opens its beak, and just a noise comes out, and it says, "Hey ya."
Hello. We'd like to hire you to bring us down the tunnel.
Charge them 1 gold per head to go to the Shadow Port.
I will take 5 gold out of my pocket and pass it to like Scales.
Here for your trouble, and I'll hand him the extra.
He takes all the gold, puts it in his pocket, and then a woman's voice pops out of his mouth and says, "Should we hire any guards for the journey?"
I think we have plenty of those with us. Thank you. It shouldn't be necessary.
No refunds.
Are we ready to go then?
Safest I felt ever going to the Shadow Port. Thank you for the ride. He motions you into the carriage.
5 stars.
That was very cool how they kept changing their voice. I wish I could do that.
There are many strange things in the Shadowport.
Great. I want to hike up my skirt and climb in the carriage.
The interior is very nice, like red leather.
I want to hike up my skirt and climb in the carriage.
You want to adjust
Is there
your
enough
leather
room
pants.
for the 5 of us in this carriage, or do we need to take?
Someone will have to ride up with the driver, probably White Scales.
Yeah.
He motions you all in and looks over to White Scales at the side of the in the driver's seat and pulls on the reins to get the horses to motion forward and starts barreling down a dark cave down towards the Shadow Port. The strange bird creature looks over at White Scales and says, "Cha-ching, baby."
Cha-ching. And for the first time, not having my friends directly in my line of sight, I'll start to like fidget a little bit more than I would normally.
So we can't see White Scales and the driver from inside the carriage.
No, there would be like a little small, little window.
But we've got time to kill. Maybe we should take another crack at this. And I want to take out Garrick Keeper's book.
Okay.
So we can look at for 20 minutes.
DM scrolls up to the top of his notes. Great. So you're trying to read the book. Just to remind everyone, it's a dark black book, leather bound. It's got gold trim on the outside in the forms of 8
The
interlocking
first
gold.
thing you wrote.
Say again? Can
I'm
you-
lagging. Oh my.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Carry on. The show must go on. The inside is like a well-drafted ledger. It has very neat and orderly handwriting. but the content is very confusing and benign. Entries read something like Second Moore's Day of Pike Tide 995. Today at the foot, Jackal gave me an Arbor Red vintage 763. It cost me 7 silver wheels. It's these entries. There's many of them referring to a date, a location, one or two of these like code names interacting with each other, and some money exchanging hands. Go ahead and make an investigation check to see if you can notice a pattern.
Can I be helping Ashrin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Ashrin. Are you
Hello.
with us?
I'm with you, and I waiting on roll 20 to buffer that. There it is.
Okay, so it's a 23. Yes, you start looking for a pattern to things. You take you start doing a little bit of math. You try to see if you can find a pattern. With the time you have and that roll, you can pick out that some of this information refers to dates pretty consistently. The dates, one of the dates stands out to you immediately, and it's the date that the Red Palm attacked St. Gertrude.
Oh, so there are future dates.
Yes, there are future dates. This entry
Okay.
is like the third to the last date.
Oh.
So there's 2 more
Oh.
entries that haven't happened yet. The next event is scheduled for the height of the Walker's Wake, which is like the summer solstice week dedicated to the red moon. And then the other date is for the second Phi Day in Ardor Tide.
Okay. And like, I'm assuming the Walker's Wake is like a month or 2 away because we're in early summer.
You are no longer in early summer. You're slightly past halfway of summer.
Uh-oh. Okay. I'll exit my mind palace and tell my party all about it.
So that date stands out. Go ahead and give me a history check too.
There's like a bunch of like little video effects floating before in front of us, and we're going.
Yeah, there's the dog barking and stuff. Yeah.
Can you remember to read out your
Yes, I've got a 12 in history.
Thank you. I'm not always on the right tab.
Yep.
Yes, with your history check, some other dates stand out to you as well. Some of the ones going in towards the back are dates that involve natural disasters. Some of the dates are like intrigue, like a certain like important law didn't pass, or an important figure dying. Some of the dates that you remember are in these ledger as well.
What's the earliest date in the ledger?
The earliest date is from around 20 years ago.
Okay, cool.
You're not sure like what event it might refer to.
But the book is spanning 20 years from the past into the near future. Cool.
Yep. 20 years into the past, and all the entries seem to involve like very very defining historical moments.
Well, I sure don't know what all of these words stand for, but I've figured out something related to the dates. They're all very important towards something. And then I tell everyone else, if anyone else has any idea what to make of that. Well, I suppose there's no time to think about it now.
I mean, it's there's a cabal, and it's been controlling, planning, maneuvering for 20 years.
Quite possibly, but
And there are still
It's-
things which they plan to do.
Yes, but did Garrick know was that every one of those states? I don't know. I suppose that's the most logical thing.
Well,
if they're related to
they
the Cabal.
used him. They used
Yeah.
him. They got them out of the prison. So
So it's, do we know when Garrick escaped from prison? Was it like 20 years ago? It was sooner, wasn't it? It's like
It
recently.
was sooner.
Yeah.
That would be one of the dates that you could pick out.
Okay.
That's in the ledger.
Yeah.
can we figure out like what? So you say the code refers to like bottles of wine, things like that. Can we figure out what that is code for? Like what it's specifically saying?
The bottles of wine appears to be the numbers that are the dates.
Okay.
Ashrin did some like comparison and some like, she tried on a few things like, could these be latitudes or could these describe like specific people? And then when she started plugging in dates for things, it started to form a pattern that she could recognize.
Okay.
You'll be able to find out more of this stuff, but it'll take some more time to decode.
So as far as I understand right now, it's like a record of important dates in which strange things happened.
Yes,
Okay.
but you know that there's more information in the ledger. There's the people who did it. You don't know what those names refer to.
Mhm.
There's talk of payment. You have no idea like what the payment could refer to, and there's locations as well.
What is the next date to happen? That is-
It's at the height of the Walker's Wake, which
How
is
many weeks is that?
so the current date is, DM scrolls down to the bottom of his notes, it's the third Gore's Day of Pike Tide. Let's go to the calendar and have our calendar lesson.
Do some math.
So you're currently in Pike Tide. It's the month dedicated to the god of war, Finim. Each month is comprised of 4 weeks with 8 days each. You're on the third week of Pike Tide, right in the beginning of it, about 3 days in. The Walker's Wake is a 7-day long semi-month that happens in between the two halves of summer, and it's when the red moon looms largest in the sky and is dedicated to the moon titan Forthus.
So it's about 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Well, that's the one takeaway, is that we should be concerned about that. And the other thing, referring to that date with the red palm on St. Gertrude, that certainly suggests to me that the red palm and this cabal are
Connected, yes.
connected. But I don't know what else we can make do of this now. So I'm going to shut the book.
Well, at least we
Look
know
out the
that
window.
Reginald was definitely a part of all of this. That was
Well, he was
obvious.
I mean, he was the spider, wasn't he?
Well, yes, but now we absolutely are for sure know that the attack of the Red Palm was not just
Engineered.
a coincidence. Yes, it was more engineered than it was a simple
Spontaneous.
overtaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing at a time.
Is the red palm an actual arm of the spider?
Maybe.
Quite possibly.
My
At least-
impression is that they're being manipulated by the Cabal because they seem very simple and straightforward, and that the Cabal is using their
Ideology.
power and their
Ideology.
inclination towards violence to get things accomplished.
If you make an ideology strong enough, you could command whoever you wanted to.
True.
If they're mostly soldiers, then yeah, soldiers generally will just trust who they trust. And if that happens to be Asquith, then how do we perhaps break that trust? Is there
I
a
don't
way?
think they know that Asquith is involved. If anything, it would be more of like Asquith was manipulating Asher. That is what I...
Perhaps we could do something with that. I think that's a good idea.
Perhaps. I want to look out the window and see if it was riding through the dark or if I see anything.
Yes, and
Go ahead.
I was also going to ask, are we making sure that... I was wondering if White Scales could actually hear us or the Kenku friend.
No, you can't You can't hear much.
Okay.
And in fact, the carriage that you're riding in is pretty heavily soundproofed. People would probably not hire a taxi that didn't have like some discreetness to it, given the nature of the business that gets done here.
Okay, good.
Presumably, if we were being loud enough, White Skills would have said something.
Yeah. If you folks are talking about something and like someone's listening in, I'll make it very clear what's happening.
I don't know. We didn't check Dieter's room for traps, so.
I mean, that was your issue.
I'm gonna check the carriage for traps.
I'm checking.
Pavel's
I'm gonna check my tight leather pants for traps.
Pavel's in the crotch.
Cool.
Yeah, knew you were packing. Yeah.
Shadowport, baby.
Looking out the window, dark caves whiz by. You can see little bits of ruined sewers every once in a while. The place isn't essentially well lit. The only light in this gloomy, dark cave is the lights on either end of the carriage swinging back and forth as it races at extremely high speeds down a wooden road. It's kind of like created with like pilings and wooden slats.
So we're like trying to talk about this secret stuff, and we're like, I really think that the cabal is okay.
Yeah, it's not conducive. Soon, within half an hour, you arrive at a larger cave opening. White Scales, you see it first, the Shadow Port. It is a dark cave. The roof stretches about 120 feet over your head and have large stalactites with string lights wrapped around them and between them to kind of create a dim light over the entire cave. There's a bunch of you're on like the top of a hill overlooking most of the Shadow Port as it descends downhill towards a very sizable looking lake with a tunnel at the end of it that stretches off into the darkness. As you watch, you can see some keelboat is arriving from that tunnel and docking amongst other keelboats down at that area of the port. That section is kind of walled off and has a lot of guards patrolling it. The rest of the sides of this cave are piled on with lots of wooden shacks with stairs going up and down along the side of them. It's comparatively, just by judging the number of like buildings here, this could be a city in its own right. Pretty small one, probably half the size of St. Gertrude. People walk along pathways wearing leathers and leather armor. Everyone here looks like they're either a criminal, hired help, or a noble who is flanked by many bodyguards. As the driver pulls off to the side of a taxi stand, he'll look over to White Scales and ask, "Should I keep it running?"
For now, that may be a good idea. Thank you.
Cha-ching, baby.
Can I tell, just by looking at it, can I tell, like, is it busier than usual? Is it less busy than usual? Is it about business as standard?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Yeah. I don't think I'm very good at that. So, 13.
It is. It looks a little busier than normal.
Okay.
Today is an auction day, so there's probably still there's probably a slave auction going on in the auction house. It's to your right. You can't see it from your current position. I'll describe it when you see it. And something that you know about the Shadow Port is that it has like 3 laws that govern it and like allows it to work. Those laws are you are responsible for your own safety. The punishment for theft is death, and everything is for sale. Those are the 3 rules.
Mm-hmm.
We're stepping out of the carriage right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I step out of the carriage, very, very noble-like.
Yeah, I step out of the
What's everyone
carriage. Very. You know what I'm saying. I will tap White Scales and just say, so where's the best place to find him or find out where he is?
Well, I would guess that he's either to our right up there at the auction house, or by the fighting pits.
And the plan is just to walk up to him and talk.
I suppose that's the best course of action here. I would rather not start a brawl unless necessary. We are significantly outnumbered.
Yes.
So let's go to the fighting pits then.
The fighting pits would have hired individuals like myself fighting for money and fame. That being said, it doesn't matter much where we go. We shouldn't be worried. As long as we have the guise of Lady Ashrin here, we should be okay.
Yes, what I'm concerned about is our escape plan now, knowing that it's a little bit more difficult to run away. If things were to go poorly and we needed to flee, can we count on a taxi to take us, or is there another way out?
There are many things that go wrong here. I'm sure that with the ample amount that we paid this individual...
Count on a taxi.
There we go.
I kind of want to like go back over to the Kenku guy and just be like, shit, I'm doing the noble thing, but just be like, if you stay here for the next 6 hours, how much would that cost us to ask you that to stay on call?
100 gold, take it or leave it.
That's too much, buddy. I'll see you around. And then I'm
about
gonna
3
leave.
hours. 3 hours.
I don't think we're going to be here for 6 hours.
Well, I didn't know. Well, how long do you think we're going to be here for? I thought we were going to do some red palm intrigue.
I say we only stay here an hour, tops.
An hour to 2 would be a good idea, in case anything goes wrong. Let's call it 2 hours.
Okay. Well, we could just come back and see who's waiting then, because I would feel foolish going back to that man and asking for 2 hours. But unless anyone else wants to,
I'll do it.
okay.
I'll just lean over. 2 hours, 25 gold. Good.
Cha-ching, baby.
Okay.
There we go. So it's been a while since I've been here. I suppose the auction house may be the best place to go first.
It's your turf, White Scales. Lead the way.
Yes. And normally I wear my cloak, and it usually conceals a lot of my skin and arms. But I'll take it off and fold it up, and put it on the cart.
Are you like Suns Out Guns Out right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This way.
You walk into the cave, and immediately it opens up a little bit wider. You can see the same wooden shacks also go down the left side of the cave. Market stalls. It looks like people selling illicit goods and items all dotted along this area.
Mm-hmm.
You can also see everyone, the auction house, which looks like someone just took a courthouse from the old city and sunk it into the ground, and it's kind of wedged, cockeyed, in the top of the cave. It's got huge white pillars that stretch up towards the top. Some of them are getting a little cracked, but the floor kind of slants off to the side a little bit. Light is pouring from within it, and you can hear the sound of people shouting and gavels coming down and other sort of noises like these. As you walk up towards it, you can see some guards flanking the pillars, carrying pikes. They've got metal helmets and black cloaks on the front that have a orange septagon. That's a 7-sided polygon with a black hole in the center. This is the this is the symbol of the many-faceted ring. It's the ARC criminal organization that has a finger in all the pies of all the lesser criminal organizations. You enter into the auction house, and you can see that is full of people from all over the place. You can see tan-skinned men and women in extravagant turbans and flowing garments. You can see a strange-looking person in what looks like a fur wizard's cloak and a really strange, tall, furry hat. You can see various merchants that you would nobles that you would place in the free cities, and for those that have like backgrounds in Downton, some Downtonese people as well. So this is a hub for criminality and a marketplace for many countries, not just the free cities. A lot of foreign interest in here as well. Every noble has like 6 bodyguards to them, and that's who's filling up most of the seats. The rest of the auction house looks like a courthouse. Long pews is where everyone is sitting. The top or front of the auction house is dominated by a large stage, and a man in black robes and a powdered wig is currently calling out lots as a red scaled dragonborn is kind of pacing around in chains, looking nervous as people hold up paddles for their noble patrons and place bets or wagers rather. There's also on the left hand side of the stage right, there is a hallway that goes back. White Scales, you know that hall to be what leads to the back of the house, where the more intense business gets done and where they kind of stage these auctions before everything happens. That's where all the merchandise is kept.
Mm-hmm. As you pass the guards on either side of the auction, will look at White Scales and give him a nod and give discerning looks to Ashrin and the rest of the party. But since you're with White Scales, they seem to not mind your presence too much.
Yes, I don't like it either. But where is he?
No, I don't see him out here.
Last you heard, Raylan became a big shot, which means he's probably in the back of the house if he's here.
Yeah. If I had to guess, he's in the back of house now.
Well, let's go back.
That might be a little bit more difficult.
Fast, because I'm just curious. Can I do a dagger check to see how close Reginald is to this location?
Ice cold.
Okay, just making sure.
Lady Ashrin, how confident do you feel of feigning your wealth?
Fairly. Should we do a bit of poking around first, or do you want to just kind of bluff our way into the back, pretending like I've got some very important things to buy?
I think it would be a lot more suspicious if we just ran in. It might be a good idea to do a little bit of investigation now.
Fair enough. It's been a while. I'm gonna just brush off my clean, noble clothes, straighten up my posture. And I don't know if this applies here, Jake, but I do have the background feature court functionary, which lets me know how bureaucracies function, and I gain access to the records and inner workings of any noble court or government I encounter. I don't know if this counts as a noble court, but it's like a noble society.
It probably is. I would give you some advantages to discerning how things work.
Okay.
And maybe some advantages in persuasion checks to try to get your way by wheeling and dealing.
Okay, well, if we're going to take the subtle route, then I guess I am going to have to look like an interested buyer.
Hold on. I have an idea. A little bit closer. You never know who's listening here. It would perhaps benefit you if you were looking to buy the Dragon of White Scales.
I mean, we've already been seen together, but that's yes.
And as a potential new benefactor may make you a larger player.
Would that not upset Raylan?
Money gets...
It would get his attention at least.
Yes. I've been gone a little while.
Well, how much would we need to do that, White Scales?
How much do we have on our person?
You don't actually need to purchase me, but it would get a little bit more interest.
I have 400 gold on me if we need to flash anything up front.
I'm going to look around real quick to see if anybody else is watching us besides the guards.
No, it does not appear to be the case. The auctioneer kind of gives a glance in your direction because you're not putting anything down. But in general, the only people watching you are the guards and these people's bodyguards. You've got about 14 sets of eyes that are just dedicated to watching you, but they're like nobles' bodyguards. They're not gonna start anything with you unless you start something with their employers. Yeah. And you also notice as you're kind of taking the scan from that hallway that leads to the back of the house, 3 men in red cloaks, like you saw in the attack on St. Gertrude, walk out of that hallway and cross across the auction house.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That.
Well, how would I go about trying to buy a White Scales then, White Scales? I surely can't just march up to someone and say, "Excuse me, would I like to purchase this bonded man?"
No, you'll have to purchase me directly from Raylan. But if anyone asks what your intention here is, you're here with me.
So we need to ask somebody who we talk to purchase you.
Yes.
That would be ideal. I can't get back there myself. Not without a benefactor, at least. It seems like that's where you're going to come in.
Okay. Well, I'm a wealthy noble then. I encountered your band of traveling crows on the road, was very impressed with your skills and wished to become your new benefactor. And I'm here to ensure that. So I think that's good. Let's go. And I want to start walking towards the hallway.
Okay. Everyone's going.
Mm-hmm.
I assume.
As we're going back there, I will lace up my tunic a little more and try to look more serious. Less sexy and hot and cool.
I will stand behind her and glimmer.
So you walk behind. You manage to not go forward and run into the red palm exiting the back of the house, but you do get around them and towards that hallway. At the end of the hall, you can see there's a metal grate that is closed up towards the center of the hallway, and there's a little caged reception window to the right of it. there doesn't appear to be any like guards in the actual hallway, but that desk is like next to that door.
Okay.
This is the farthest you've ever been, White Scales.
Unfortunately, this is the only part that I'm not familiar with.
I'm gonna take out a copper piece from my bag and just from my component pouch and just hold it in my pocket, being prepared to cast detect thoughts if I need to.
Okay. Just FYI, if you cast detect thoughts and people can hear your components, they can hear you casting that spell.
Yeah, it's like crowded here though, right?
In the auction house, it is. You'd probably be able to get away with it, but not in the back here.
Okay.
Where the hallways are kind of quieter.
Maybe I'll find a bathroom or something. We'll see.
Okay. Are you approaching the desk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't answer for you.
Should I? I don't think you should come. I guess everyone should come, but I should go in front up to the desk, or I don't know. Would it make more sense to have like a servant speak for me?
Just go.
I'm very unfulfamiliar with noble slave
I'll
societies.
accompany you.
Okay,
Just
I'm
go.
just trying.
I'll accompany you.
Okay. Okay. Critical.
Go.
I would love to walk up to the window. Who's behind it?
You see a guard in the same sort of dress as the rest of the guards of the Shadowport. He's an orcish man, messing with ledgers and doing these sort of things. And he looks out at you through the cage and says, "The auction's happening in the front of house. This area is off limits."
I'm interested in making a sale that is something that is not on the auctions floor, and I was told to head towards this part of the building.
We were told we need to talk to a Raylan.
You want to talk to Raylan? What about?
I want to glare at Glimmer.
I'm helping. What am I doing wrong?
No, you should have spoke first, or I should. Never mind. It's fine.
Yes.
We should have picked one or the other. So, I'm interested in buying one of his assets.
Well, he's busy. What asset? I can leave a note.
If you could inform him directly, he may be most interested. This is about a certain dragon board that goes by White Scales.
You know where he is?
Oh, yes. I've brought him with me.
Oh. Stay right here. I'll go get Raylan.
Shit.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
He exits out the office, and you can see through that cage door. He walks across the room on the other side and into another door that's like kind of facing it. And he returns with a very exquisitely dressed tiefling. He's got deep orange skin and purple eyes, and he's kind of wearing a functional yet highly expensive tunic, boots, and pants. His hair is kind of black and slicked back like a not a greaser, but like a sleazy,
like a greasy man.
Yeah. And he's kind of looking expectantly. Is White Scales in the hallway still?
I'm a bit behind everyone else, but yes, I am in the hallway.
Okay. He's kind of looking expectantly at the group and sees White Scales and hurries over. And he says, DM scrolls to the bottom of his notes. Well, look what the cat dragged in. White Scales as I live and breathe. Hello, Lady...
Ashrin.
Lady Ashrin.
Cashrin.
Cashrin. Nice to meet you. I am Raylan, and you are to Glimmer.
Oh, this is
Shine.
Shine.
Yes.
Well, very charmed. All of you. White Scales. Where in the devil have you been? I heard that you got into some business in St. Gertrude.
Yes. Unfortunately, there were some dealings with a up-and-coming group. That seems to be settled for the moment.
Yes. I'm speaking more acutely about what I've heard about you and Garrick Heartkeeper. When I heard the news, I expected you to buy yourself out of the debt and be back in my employ within a week or two, and it's just been on and on. And I've been worried where you might have gotten to.
Yes. Well, I'm here now, and with them this time. Is there somewhere that we could speak a little bit more privately?
I suppose so. You don't expect me to invite all of them back, do you?
Well, at the very least, Lady Ashrin.
And me,
Cool.
and me,
And,
and me.
sir.
I'll mind ping you that.
And,
I'll like
Yeah.
Sir Glimmer.
Fine. Oh fuck!
You can tell
I'm saying in your head,
telepathically.
shine.
Oh, Glimmer, is it? Great. Interesting.
Excuse
whose
my
company,
friend.
So
but
bad.
is a crowd.
Excuse my friend. His mistake. The words are similar. It is shine.
It's Glimmer Shine.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
I do not know.
My
how to
name. My
respond to
name
this.
is. I am trying to take your guy away from you. That's my name.
Give me your boy. White Scales, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Yep. Oop. It's a 3, baby.
It's a 3.
Shit, dude.
White Scales, my man, please choose one of your toys to bring back.
And I'll like look Glimmer in the eye and just kind of nod. Well, it would be
I'm ready.
my lady then.
Oh, okay.
Apologize.
Okay.
I'm so sorry to intrude, but if the lady goes, at least I must go to protect her.
You do not have to worry about protection with me. We're well stocked in my guard barracks are just beyond.
What would be doing as a service, though? You see, this is a golem here that they are absolutely unable to break their contract. It's actually kind of annoying.
Excuse me. If this is what the man asks for to do our business, then this is what we shall do. You will wait out here. I'm gonna go
As you wish,
mode.
my lady.
Sorry.
Yeah. As I have to commit to the bit. As you wish, my lady.
Okay.
Thank you. He looks to Ashrin with like renewed like interest at this pushing around of Eidolon.
I'll switch my mind tether from White Scales to Ashrin and just be like, okay, if this is how we're doing it, keep me updated.
I would say I don't think any of us expected us to go this way, but I promise to abide by White Scales' wishes, and I'll join up with them.
Okay. Very well.
Yes. I would say very well, my lady. Come, Sir Knight and Sir Shine. We shall wait outside.
Go enjoy the auction. Maybe you can scout out some wares for
Cool.
your lady's interest. I hear that you want to buy White Scales, and I might have another offer for you. But
well, if we
come on
could
in.
conduct business privately, let's get into it. Yeah.
He motions to the guard, who opens up the portcullis, and he welcomes White Scales and Ashrin through into the other side of the gate. What are the other three doing? Heading back to the auction?
I'm trying to scope as I'm in the auction. I'm trying to scope out a good place that for me to slip through to get into the back, including places that I could slip through as a gas cloud, where I can slip through like inch.
Okay.
It's pretty
Inch
much
crack.
one. So that's the
Okay.
only entrance.
Okay.
Okay.
I would be drawing the faces that I can see while in this auction house on the black.
Could I like slip underneath the floorboards?
It's stone. It's like a stone
Okay.
courthouse. Eidolon?
I am going to be pushing Glimmer into a corner and said, "You mind linked with one of them, didn't you?"
Yes, Ashrin.
Well, you will say everything that they say.
That's not how it works. Ashrin has
You
to tell
will
me
relay
with her
everything that is going on inside that room.
mind. It's up to Ashrin to tell me what is going on, but okay.
Well, then, Ashton.
Why don't you ask me telepathically and I will?
Yeah, I'll say, try to relate to me everything that is said.
Yes, and be ready for if we must escape or if you must come inside and assist.
I have a means to get inside, yes.
Okay.
As you are having this conversation and as Raylan is leading White Scales and Ashram back, the auctioneer says, and for a very special final lot of the day, a rare treat. The Gilded Cage's White Scales has achieved a name for himself as an enforcer, and the rest of his stock are no less wonders than he. And they pull out from the back, what looks like a younger, smaller version of White Scales.
No.
White Scales, you got a son?
Apparently I have a son.
For hiding a child?
Bro, he has a son.
I wonder how this will affect his courtship with Glimmer.
And there he is, a creature that looks remarkably like White Scales, chained and at the stage. The auctioneer slams down the gavel and says, "We'll begin the bid at 25 golden wheels." And that's where we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 15 minutes at 7:55 to see what goes on. Will White Scales be able to negotiate his way out of the contract with Raylan? What will happen now that his brother/son is being put up for bid in the slave market? Find out only on tavernofTales.com/DND, twitch.tv, youtube.com. We'll see you at 7:55 for the thrilling conclusion.
Smash that yellow subscribe button. 5 stars.
MySpace.net/tavern.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tales from the Shadowlands. Last we left our adventurers, they had ventured down into the Shadowport after deciding not to go on the not to wait around with Pavel to do the dead drop. They wanted to knock out the Shadowport business first. They head down there, went into an auction house where Raylan, White Scales' current and hopefully soon to be former owner, met with Ashrin and White Scales and leading them back into his office. Meanwhile, out in the front of the house, Eidolon, Glimmer, and Sir Gwydion were treated to the sight of a White Scales lookalike being sold to the auction as one of someone similar to White Scales, thus increasing his value to those who would purchase them. We're going to jump back into it at the White Scales and Ashrin camera as they're heading back into the auction house. Ashrin and White Scales, you can see a complex of things around you. There are rails along the floor of this room that move towards a big set of wooden doors, and then down or somewhere off into some other cave complex. There's another wooden door on the other side. You can see a cart is on those rails, laden with a bunch of equipment and things like that. There are two doors besides the door to the office in this room. One is on the eastern side of the room, and you can hear screams and sobbing and the sound of metal hitting metal coming from back there. You can't really see it. And there's the door that Raylan's currently leading you towards. He opens it up, and you see a sort of guard barracks on the other side. There's about 3 soldiers not on duty. They're not in their armor or anything, but you can see pieces of the many-faceted ring armor around, and he leads you into a door off to the side, and it's a small little office. There are drawers and cabinets in places. His desk is kind of strewn with coins and paper bills of various sorts just on his desk, and he is leading you in, and he'll motion to 2 seats across from his position.
Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
I hate the delay. I just while we were walking, I wanted to get in this quick Skype call to Glimmer. So finish.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say, just as she's walking, like, okay, remember, we're appealing to his pride. What I would say is, White Scales has made a name for himself under your service, under you, and now he can blossom into something more, and all of the free cities will be impressed with the specimen you've raised to this level, where he's able to make a name for himself even independently. That's something along the lines of what I would say.
Okay. And be like, well, I know that White Scales has some affection for this man, but I must admit, it seems that, in my experience, the more resources someone has, the more absolutely reluctant they are to give a crumb of it away, and how much they cling to all of it.
True.
I do not suspect this to go well.
It's why our only angle is
but
appealing
be
to his
ready.
pride. Yes.
But be ready.
He leads you in and chats to White Scales idly, and he says, well, as you can see, our station has increased by a fair margin since you took the plunge for me. Thank you again. It's really good to have you back, White Scales. You were quite irreplaceable.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You certainly struck it big in the last month.
Yes, hard work and dedication. Some words of advice as we continue our relationship, hopefully.
Yes. I appreciate the words, as always, Raylan. I heard that you got into a bit of a partnership with those Red Palm.
Yes, they are paying customers. They want to use this port as a staging ground. We've seen a few shipments of their equipment come in and out every once in a while. It's only fairly lucrative. They're not deep into money, but it always comes when we send the bills.
Makes sense. Have you met their leader yet?
No, he hasn't shown his face here. He usually sends some underlings to deal with all of his work. Yes, you'll hear all about it. I'll probably have to have a more in-depth brief with you about my 5-year plan as we look forward. But first, let's settle whatever business is at hand. And he looks to Ashrin.
I'm looking very expectantly at him, and not annoyed, but well, if I may, I would like to take a seat in the office.
Yes, please sit.
Cool. So, Mr. Raven, it is nice to meet you. So I'd like to introduce yourself again as I'm Lady Cashrin. I'm from the Free Marches, and it so happened that on my way to Rainmere, I came across a group of singing crows, and there was one of them who most admirably struck my attention. That man is White Scales. I'll point to White Scales because we love him.
He is quite the specimen, isn't he?
It's worth mentioning that I would not sit down. I would stand behind the chair.
Cool. Quite so. I have to say, very impressed with, everything he is and what he's learned, and I hear that is a great part due to you and your organization here. Though I can't say I know an awful lot about it. I've heard that you've come into some influence, but I am new to the Shadowport, as you say, not quite from the area.
Glad to have you back here. Always looking forward to a new customer. But I'm afraid of what I'm about to hear.
Yes. You see, I had hoped to hire White Scales into my pay, but only to find out that apparently after he settled his debt as a crow, he still had a bond tying him to you, which is, I don't want to say unfortunate, but I think a pity to see him confined to the pits down here instead of up above, doing the adventure roaming.
He kind of gives a nod to White Scales. The work I'll have from now is quite different. And besides, White Scales, you don't want to leave, do you? It says like half, like he's sure of it, and half it's a command.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I was kind of staring at them pretty openly, and I'll kind of look down. Actually, in the time away, I personally have felt a sense of wonder. I think it would do me a great justice to continue to go out and see more of the world, increase my abilities as I have in the last month. My rate of growth has increased quite monumentally with the experience that I've gained out there, and I think that it would be beneficial to the reputation that I have garnered, as well as yours, if I were allowed to continue this.
So you want to get out of my employ, and you want to sell this to me as if it's benefiting me?
And I'll kind of like look nervously over at Ashrin.
Okay, I'm also sweating. Give me a second.
This is extremely sad and disappointing to me. Haven't I always taken care of you? Haven't you've attained a kind of glory in your current position?
You're relaying all of this to me, right, Ashrin? I don't know like how you want to rule that, but like if she's thinking all the stuff that she hears as she hears it, then I'm probably
you asked, so I would probably have commentary as well. Just be like, I feared this would happen. Here's what Freylin's saying.
I would say tell him that, of course, what he's built under Raylan is great, but it could be greater outside of what he has planned for him, and that he will make sure to always honor him, to make sure that any deeds he does, people connect to Raylan and Raylan's guidance. I don't know. Okay.
Well, of course, what you've done here is certainly great, and what you've built up from White Scales. And I think that, it's up to him, but if we went out to the world and, spread more adventures, it would just surely spread word of how great the pit fighters, specifically pit fighters owned and trained by you of the Shadowport are. Perhaps this could benefit your business in some way, not just him.
Or conversely, maybe the word gets out that whenever a trusted member of what I would almost consider my family decides that they would no longer like to do the things that I asked them to do. They trot some rich young money woman in front of me,
Money woman.
decide to try to pull the ejector lever on the whole thing. Why would you betray me like this, White Scales? What do you think that you're going to get from her? I have treated you with respect. You're almost like a brother to me, and you think you're going to get that from her walking around doing what? What is it that you do anyway?
I'm part of an adventuring guild called the Sword Pals.
I'm gonna say to Ashrin, like, tell him that he wouldn't want one of his stock to be unsatisfied with their position under him. He wouldn't want him to chafe under the chains. Now that he's got a taste of freedom, he's been spoiled almost, and he could cause trouble down the road. He could be unmotivated or even rebellious.
Does White Scale want to say something?
Yes. I understand what it looks like, Raylan, but I'm not trying to leave just for your sake or for mine. I do believe that it would be good for your reputation if anyone that works under you in the future saw a chance to leave. The reputation that we have built together is far greater than many other stories you see here, and if I were to go out on my own, and you were the one to come up with the idea of releasing me after this whole debacle, you would gain a great bit of reputation for being generous, in addition to professional.
Generosity is not a trait that I often see in a crime lord, a blooming one at that. I don't like to do this, White Scales, but I have to remind you of the reality of our relationship right now. I own you. You don't go anywhere unless I say you do, and I don't think that you can convince me that this is a benefit for me in any way. So what I see is ungratefulness. That's what I see, and I see when I've achieved this station. I send you away to do the work of clearing away the debts that we have accumulated. You come back with some fresh ideas about what you can and cannot do.
In all due fairness, Raylan, they were your debts, not mine.
You are like my pinky finger. When I move, you move.
And I'll like take a second and look over at Ashrin. Do you have anything?
Well, I'm a bit running out of patience.
White Scales, take this lady and deposit her on the other side of the gate. And then you and I will discuss our ongoing terms.
Great. I would love to look at White Scales and be like, and just make eye contact. Just feel like, are you gonna?
Raylan, I have a follow-up opportunity for you then. If you are scared of what this may mean to you, why don't you put it on a fight? My freedom and one more fight in the pit. Whatever it is that you wish, I will face it, but give me the opportunity to do this. You gain nothing from me leaving outright. Give me the opportunity to purchase my freedom.
Your what do I gain from this?
Oh, I've got quite a lot of gold I can put up.
What's the offer?
Hmm.
You can offer my gold too. I have an equivalent of 600.
6,000.
Okay.
And where is this number?
Of gold? Well, it's back into my estate, but I can pay you in advance now.
We can work something out. I think you send your manservants outside back to your estate, bring the gold, we'll put it in a pile, and we'll say if you lose a pit fight, if you win the fight, I will consider taking the gold wagered in exchange for a transfer of your servitude.
Excuse me, sorry. You're not even going to. I'm supposed to hand over this gold before I've had a promise of what you're going to do if he wins or loses the fight. I think you've underestimated a bit. I need it in writing before I give you a piece.
Sure, that can be arranged. We'll say 7,000 gold then for a guarantee if White Scales can combat an enemy of my choice thoroughly in the pits, then I will take that 7,000 in exchange for his contract.
I suppose that's sufficient if that's the way we're going to handle this. I want to kill this guy, is the thing. But I will stand up and then say, shit, is White Scale coming with us? Yes, well, it should take me a minute to get my resources from my estate. In the meantime, do you have a recommendation of where we could stay in the Shadow Port?
There's rooms at Taggart's. You can head up there. There's also the Bright Hearth if you don't mind slumming it. And you can meet White Scales and I at such a time that you provide the gold.
Yes.
Tell him White Scales needs open air space to prepare for the fight.
It's not going to work, King.
He needs fresh air and grass.
And can I be... You see, my concern is you were so inhospitable to the deal before, so I am... Is there any sort of collateral or that I could take to presume that, White Scales will still be around and or alive tomorrow?
My word is what you can have. White Scales can also vouch for me. I am not a cruel master. In fact, I treated him nearly like a brother, and he is making very pointed eye contact at White Scales.
Yes, I'm sure he knows how well you treated him.
And the whole business here is because I do not want to give him up, and these are my terms.
Raylan, just remember the third law. Everything is for sale.
This is the awkward silence that's happening live in the room. He's kind of like fidgeting with a ring, sitting down, lounging, very like exposed, in a vulnerable position, and just full of fire. And he'll re-give his order again. White Scales, take this lady, have her meet her manservants, and I do not want to see another whiff of them until they put the gold up front that I'm apparently accepting for this insulting offer.
Very well. Shall we go, my lady?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to leave. As we shut the door behind us, I would be like, didn't think it was gonna go that way.
Neither did I.
So what's the best next step? Would it be to break in and just tear up your contracts directly? Because we will come back for you.
Yes,
Don't doubt
I
that.
know.
But
6,000
and I don't think we'll have a lot of time to talk in the hallway. So either stay alert for us tonight, or do you think you can take whoever he chooses in a fight?
I have no doubt that I can best any of his men.
Then perhaps
Ashran, ask him.
Yeah.
If Raylan were to die in what appeared to be an accident, would his contract be void?
That's a good point. I don't think it would be void. If Raylan were to die in an accident, what would happen to your contract? Do you know? Does he have any heirs that are more amenable?
I'm not sure what would happen of the contract.
It would go to the Gilded Cage at large.
Okay. I believe it would go to the Gilded Cage. That being said, if my contract had his signature on it and yours, and he were to become unavailable to refute that claim, by all intents and purposes, regardless if any gold was transferred, you would be my rightful owner.
So, okay. I'm so tempted. I just would love to. He's so vulnerable in there right now. But I'm gonna be like White Scales and grab your shoulders and be like, "We will figure something out, and we will be back. I'm sorry to leave you here like this." And yeah, let's walk back to the group. Unless you have anything else. I think we should rob a bank. I'm just gonna say it.
The ultimate grift.
I think we should rob the bank or borrow 6,000 gold and trust in White Scales, because I don't know if we can break into this zone safely and manipulate the contract. But yeah.
I will, just as a word of encouragement, anything that you set your mind on can be possible given your investment into it. So
Okay.
I just want, like, if you guys want to burn down this whole place and try to escape, that you might be able to do that. If you want to leave White Scales behind and plan an assassination and get like a financier, that's also a valid plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make those decisions by me and White Scales self. But yeah.
If possible, Glimmer can probably contact me. I have faith in all of you.
Okay, and are you going to be okay? I fear I didn't want to bring this up because I know it seemed personal, but someone mentioned Raven's power of charming magic, and are you going to be okay down here? I guess is.
I should be fine.
Okay.
Raylan's angry now, but he does need me.
Mm-hmm. I want to say as we walk past the door with the screams coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you exit the Shadowport, not the Shadowport, the back of the house to find the other people. And we're going to switch cameras back in time to Glimmer, Eidolon, and Sir Gwydion at the auction. This clone of White Scales is nervously pacing on the top of the stage, and the auction master just slammed their gavel down and said, "We're starting the bid at 25 golden wheels. Do I see 30 golden wheels?"
Does it look like a clone or like a sibling? Does it look like an exact clone?
So in the announcement he made, he said that it was of White Scales stock.
Yes.
So like that can mean he's like White Scales' brother or son, or it could be a clone, like theoretically, but you don't have like any proof of that. The easier explanation is it's a brother or son.
What does he look like? Does he look like he fights?
He looks like less hardened White Scales.
Okay.
It looks like White Scales would imagine he looked at like 16.
Can I approach just like a random noble who's like watching the auction and putting on my best sort of like ditzy boy toy voice? I'll be like, "Sorry, my mistress left me. I'm just I was gonna say matron, so I'm just observing."
As soon as you're like you get close to them, one of the bodyguards takes you by the chest and kind of pushes.
Just a question. Just
back a little bit. The noble holds up a hand and says, "Ooh, aren't you a snack?"
Oh my god. Some would even describe me as a meal, but my question really is: the auctioneer said stock. What does that mean?
She repeats what the DM just said.
So she doesn't know. Okay.
No, I mean, there's like some salesmanship going on here. You don't have like she doesn't have like the letter in front of her of like his progeny.
Okay, so the most likely answer is family relation somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
If looks can be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else bidding currently?
Well, did any of you want to put up a bid?
Well, yes, but not right now.
I'm sorry, but 30 gold is a steal for a 16-year-old child.
Yeah, a bidding war is erupting. The gold cost is going up by increments of 5 each time. It goes from 25 to 30 to 35. The bidding seems to be between one of the people in like the very dense fur coats and the big tall hats and one of the people in like the turbans. To like
I'm gonna have drawn them in my little black book of faces.
Mm-hmm. You're drawing them. The bids start to slow down around the 70 mark.
Okay.
Then it's the last bid is 75 for the lady with the tall hat.
75, huh? I'll do 100. I will say 100.
100 to the man in the back.
And just keep drawing. Not even.
She raises her hand again for 105. 105. Do I see 110? Man in the back.
125.
125. Going one.
Wait, did you raise your own bid? You don't have to do that.
No. It was raised, but
this is what you do.
Okay.
The lady in the tall hat like sits back down and looks like she's done. 125 going once, 125 going twice. Sold to the good-looking man in the glimmering armor in the back. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending our auction of humanoid goods. We'll be back the same time next week for rare prizes from the mists of Porcilla.
Sorry, White Skills, that we didn't get your freedom, but we did buy your son. So
Eidolon was paying attention to Glimmer, but he hears Sir Gwydion's voice clearly say 125 and walks over. It's like, Sir Gwydion, what did you just do?
I just, Miss Lady Cashrin just has a new escort.
You bought.
I have standing orders to buy all white Dragonborn children.
You bought an infant.
That's not an infant. That's
I think I might have.
a teenager, but
You bought an infant.
he's free now. He's under our care, which means he's free now. It's better.
And what do you expect to do? You think we are some sort of child care?
Fuck.
Did you not see what we were fighting against less than 1 week ago?
Eidolon, I kept 4 horses alive for like a week. I can take care of a 6-year-old child.
Is not the same as something that has a mental capacity to think.
We don't mean to keep him around like a pet. We just didn't want him to be.
I didn't know when you were created.
Anymore.
Your creator also made you into like a nanny bot or something. Like, gosh.
I have only. Eidolon flashes back for a quick second. He pauses for a very quick second. Children are not something that I intend to get involved with, especially not infants.
We don't have to be. This is not an infant. It's at least a teenager, and also we don't have to get involved very much. but I think this would be of interest to White Scales, and so we will keep him around for as long as it makes sense. Make sure he is safe. He's definitely safer with us than he is with these fucking people.
Well, Sir Gwydion, I hope you have the 125 gold.
Oh yeah, do you have that?
I do.
Ashrin, you come out as soon as the person says sold and points to Sir Gwydion triumphantly buying something.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending our auction. You may collect your goods at the front of the stage immediately. Please have all payment ready at this time.
All right. I'm going to turn around, give a really jaunty salute to Eidolon and go to the front of the stage.
Okay.
Eidolon, one step at a time, okay?
Well, I have to go with him because I am acting as bodyguard, and apparently we now have another noble.
This is not a noble. Okay.
Remember when Eidolon said he saw a baby decapitate someone? It was a 20-year-old man.
I head up with Sir Gwydion to ensure that everything goes smoothly.
I'll come to Glimmer and be like, what did they buy?
I don't know. A dragonborn that looked like it could be Whitescale's son or brother or something.
Interesting. Do they even have any money? I think Sir Gwydion sent his last bronze on some oats.
It was 125. I don't know. Lily, do you have the 125?
I've got money, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's your child then.
So,
I don't think part of it.
is not with you. I assume it didn't go well.
I'm assuming that they didn't let skills come through. Or did
I was sent to remove you. So,
they probably let you out.
Yeah, so Raylan's got his head peeking out the door, watching White Scales and making sure that he's completing his own.
Yeah. I'm kind of standing there with you for the moment.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have long before I have to get back to him. In the carriage that I left my coin in there as well. You can use that for whatever you need.
Yes. Do you know what? Do you recognize him? Down to the stage. Is he still down there?
He's at the front of the stage now, kind of looking sheepishly at Sir Gwydion.
So the transaction has already taken place.
Yeah, so you're changing hands with the person in the black robes and the powdered wig. He's accepting the money and counting it quick and then handing over. He's kind of wearing a chain collar. He's handing that lead over to you. White Scales, it's looking into the mirror when you were younger.
Oh.
I don't want to, I'm gonna hold the chain
White Scales have a tough
and we
day.
just bought that guy. How do you feel about it?
Sir Knight, if you wish, I may take the infant from your hands.
No, it's quite all right. Do you have a name? I'll ask the dragonborn.
No.
Well, then come with us.
I'll look at White Scales and mind ping him and be like, stay sturdy, stay strong. We'll come for you. You'll get out of this, and we'll take care of him.
I will be fine.
This is going to be a hard day, but hopefully all the ones after should not be quite so much.
True.
And then I kind of want to put my hand on his shoulder and let him go, or just wait until we get yelled at.
Thank you, friends. See you again.
Wait, we're just leaving White Scales?
We have to. The deal didn't go.
I'll turn back and walk towards the door.
We will discuss it outside of here.
Oh, can't we just run away with them now? It's not like they're going to...
It's not what he wants to do.
Raylan watches with great satisfaction White Scales obeying his order and coming back to him. Mm-hmm. He'll put White Scales in the office and the door closes, and that's the last you see of White Scales for now.
no, our boy.
You are all in the auction house. You're kind of loomed over by like a ghost of white scales almost. He's thin and naive like a blank slate. He's just absorbing everything like a sponge. The rest of the auction house is slowly beginning to clear out. People and their bodyguards moving in like tight formations out of the auction house. What would you like to do?
Eidolon is going to instinctively take the young dragonborn and hold him by his side, not holding the chain, but actually just like holding more of his shoulder, and actually letting kind of taking Sir Gwydion's hand of the chain and handing it actually to the young dragonborn.
Oh yeah, that would have already been happening.
Yeah.
As soon as we left the establishment.
So you guys are leaving the establishment and heading back to Chiching?
Yes.
Yeah. Unless anyone wants to stay here, I think we should try to talk.
Hold on. While we're walking back to Chiching, do we want to get a room here in the Shadowboard for the night so we can scope out the headache ring, make a plan?
Let's have a convo. Let's just go down an alley and have a convo.
Okay, let's go down and have a convo, yeah.
You can find like a dark alleyway. So
it's probably full of dark alleyways.
Yeah, sometimes people like pass by and they're like, what the heck is going on? But they know better than to like stand around for long, especially with Eidolon and Sir Gwydion being like these tough figures.
Tough guy. It's cool. I check the trash in the alley for traps, and then I ask everyone. I tell them everything that happened. Oh, okay. I don't press it.
Opens up the gate to Lieutenant Surge's gym.
And then I find you under the truck.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just I have to admit, not my finest, but it's very difficult to make a negotiation when you have virtually nothing to offer. So Raylan was nonplussed by all of our efforts to free Whitescale, was actually quite insulted, so I did my best to mitigate that. Whitescale's suggestion was that he have a fight for his own freedom, and we settled upon me paying 7,000 gold for the wager for that fight. So as I see it, we could raid the Shadowport and free Whitescales tonight, hopefully when they're off their guard. We could procure the 7,000 gold through maybe another institution we were just at earlier that was also a little bit distasteful. That's the bank that would have 7,000 gold. Or if worse comes to worse, we could take out a loan, because I'm fairly confident that Whitescales could probably beat whatever they've got up.
We want to be in debt. We want to be in debt again. We've been out of debt for like a day, maybe not even.
It's not ideal, but God,
the gold is a concern.
You should have seen this.
No, I'm sympathetic.
I hate to bring up this one last option. Equivalent exchange.
What would be equivalent to Whitescales that we have?
I
talking
don't
about the
want
child.
to. I'm sorry, boy, but
I know. This is not my finest moment, but
I don't even think that Raylan would consider him equivalent.
Yeah, he's
putting him
just,
up for
I'm sorry,
auction.
this is not an insult, but what did he sell for? 125? Raylan was insulted by 7,000 for Whitescales. I don't think the math. I'm sorry for any psychological stuff this might do to you, son, but I just don't think that one's gonna fly.
We could just kill Raylan.
Okay, yes,
we could kill Raylan.
An idea. If he were to fall from the stands during the fight, land in the arena, and be savaged by whatever creature was put in front of Whitescales, then if we can make it look like an accident, then he would be free from the contract, or at least free enough that we could spirit him away and just get out of this for the time being.
That's all very nice, but assuming that we can procure 7,000 gold wheels.
That's a problem, yes.
Conditional. I have to say, I'd rather make an enemy of a banking institution than the Gilded Cage, who has arms in every city, not to restrain me.
I'd much rather make an enemy with someone who is already our enemy.
Fair enough. So should we just kill him then?
Yes.
I didn't want to kill him. Whitescales, I didn't. didn't want to do it because he asked us not to, and it was very difficult to see his face. But
I can ask him.
What is more affordable? 7,000 goals to buy our friend a chance to fight, or passage out of the city on a quick escape because we saved our ass and murdered the man that tried to enslave him?
Well,
I honestly can't believe I'm saying this, but the second option seems actually quite fun.
you have fun, Adelan. Also, this is fun to you?
Oh, any time that I can actually use my services as brawn is pretty fun.
Okay. I mean, we don't know what kind of guard he's under or will be under, so that's a
yes, that is my concern. As distasteful as it would be to go into debt again, I believe I may have enough credit to make that loan. I could at least try.
You have credit?
I could probably forge something too. If we could hold it off, if that's enough time to get away with maybe just some money and like a down payment, and then, you cut it and run. That's usually one of those fun tricks that happen.
Could you forge a document right now that looks official from a bank?
From the Tortellini family, yes.
I have paper, I have ink.
From the Tortellini family.
I have paper, I have ink, and I have a wax seal stamp on my person.
I have my forgery kit and my really nice pen.
I'm not sure if they'll take anything but gold. These are very shrewd criminal underworld members.
So you could get the loan. That's true.
I could very well try.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he will probably be more exposed at the fight than wherever he sleeps. I think he'll be feeling confident.
If we're already paying for the loan, is the assassination attempt must be seamless.
Yes.
Because all it would take is white scales to win, and it wouldn't matter. So
we're expecting seamless from someone who just had to come up with 3 fake names in the 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes that we were standing face to face with that man.
Where's everyone's heads at? What are they thinking is the ideal route? So we can
I could find a way to get up to whatever reviewing box that Helen will be in and pull him out of it. Make him fall, maybe with someone else's help. He can fall into the pit. I don't know if the angles are right. We'll have to scope it out, and escape from there. I can fall with him and not be harmed. I can turn to mist.
How do you presume we set up this fight without the gold?
Well, getting the gold is part of it. I'm just talking about the killing.
Okay, I guess I'm just trying to see where everyone wants to head next.
Eidolon is just kind of like covering the infant's, like I keep saying
his ears.
Yeah, the white scale's ears. It's like, I just don't know how to handle it. Well,
he is extremely obedient. He's like putting his head down and like letting you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? Are we in an alley? Are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on. Maybe he has some more information about this. Can we ask the boy if he knows anything about like Raylan's compound, backroom security?
Well, I had hoped to, but I had hoped to do it in a bit more of a comfortable and quiet and private place than a back alley.
I feel like this is
you're
as private
in a private enough place.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more people listening at the inn in this zone, in this crime town.
Us interrogating a child we just bought? Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's suspicious.
Gwydion, he just stood on an auction block. I think he can handle having a conversation in an alley.
I can do whatever you ask me to.
Yes, but you shouldn't have to, darling. I will.
All right, we'll go to the ice cream store and we buy him ice cream.
I mean, as soon as I get money, I'm going to spoil this child.
We're going to come up with a nice nickname for you for now until you decide your name.
Yeah, I'm going to how tall is he?
He is like 6'5".
Oh, okay.
God, he's as tall as me.
But he's like a gangly, like teenager.
Yeah.
He's a foot and a half taller than me and Glimmer.
I'll say. How does Storm sound as a name? Storm. It's powerful. It's free. Like you will be in the future.
haven't you ever dreamt of having your own name? And if so, what would that be?
I never
don't think he's there yet.
I never would have thought I would have the choice, but I like the Snow.
Would Snow be a good name?
Would it?
For now, at least.
He
I like the sound of it.
he asks like, would it? And he's like looking for approval from you.
I like the sound of it.
We can come up with something.
I've heard much
was
worse.
hoping to make you an offer.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that for now that you will be under my protection. You will be training as a page. I will protect you under that.
No, we do not own you. We've purchased you, but just to get you free. This is
let's make this
different
clear.
relationship.
I want to take his chains off.
Okay. He like shrugs them off. You can see that there are like some very deep inlaid like scars and rubbing, like where his scales are coming off a little bit, around where the collars and the shackles used to be attached. And he looks at you like confused, but again, totally obedient. Okay.
Snow, you will learn to think for yourself. We hope to teach you that. But you are under our protection, like Sir Gordian says. We'll make sure you don't get purchased again.
Why are you doing this?
Because we're better than them, and because
Because that's just the way that it is. All right?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Young one, if there's anything that I've learned in the past few years is that all the people that you've met in your current life, there are many more who are the opposite and are willing to let you live a free life. And we want to give you the opposite taste of life.
I can't even think of what that'll look like.
We'll start to show you.
Thank you.
By murdering this guy.
Yeah, I'm working this guy. Anyway,
So what's your guys' plan?
I want to know if Snow knows and like what are the security zones? Like how hard is it to break into that back area with all the guard barracks and where Raylan hangs out? Like I want intel on the zone if he has any.
Mm-hmm. So things that Ashton would know is that there's a lever behind that like window that opens up the door that leads to the back. You also saw the guard barracks. It only had like 3 off-duty soldiers in it. You didn't see the other hallway, but you heard like some yelling and screaming in there. So you know there's like some presence in there and maybe some like captives. And he'll add on to this. There's a rail that goes down into the darkness, and they're mining down there. And
They're mining.
yeah, that's where they keep me, and the boss lives in a big pillar that stretches all the way to the ceiling.
Snow, do the
Is Raylan the boss?
No. The boss lives in the dark column. Raylan is like a clerk.
where does he live?
Okay.
Yes.
Where do you know where he lives?
Where Raylan lives?
Yes.
Raylan will live somewhere down in the column as well.
So you can get down there from the auction house.
Yes. They brought us up on carts.
The auction house, does it close down at night? Do you know?
Yes.
Would there be no guards to see us slip in if we did?
I don't know.
I
think
feel
that's
that we're
unlikely.
pulling a lot of prerogatives for what if when we need information that's happening right now.
What do you mean?
How many guards were in that room? Can we overpower them? White Scales is possibly in danger. The more we wait, the more we don't know what's going to happen to him.
Yes, that's why I would want to nail this down right now. Are we invading? Or are we doing the match? Who's in favor of invading right now?
We have no way of gifting 7,000 gold.
I offered several ways.
We have too many ifs, and at this point we have one certain, and that
That's fine.
is
Okay.
what we can be certain is what we just saw in the last 30 minutes, and if we can overcome that obstacle.
Okay. I think it will be a challenge to overcome, but the longer that we wait, the less we will know. So, yes.
What are we doing?
Well, I think Eidon wants to break in right now.
I don't think that's wise.
We also have a meeting at 8 p.m.
We've got to keep our schedule is the thing.
Yes.
I don't want to. I would fear to stay in this city after.
Would Dieter
after
be
breaking
willing
into the Shadow Port? Yeah.
Would Dieter be willing to help?
Yeah,
I believe Dieter is more than willing to help. I feel that
Um,
we are just trying to get along with an enemy that we have already made long ago. Is this man not in connection with the Red Palm?
Oh, yes.
And what is our prerogative with any Red Palm members that we come across?
I mean, he's not a member, but I think it. So, all right. So, are we going to Dieter first, or are we just going to break in there right now?
I think Dieter can help us. I think we can probably.
All right.
So we have an ally. We have the beginnings of a plan. Maybe he can even help us get the gold. So.
All right.
So
well, let's return to the surface then.
the group heads back to the taxi stand and pay Cha-Ching the promised amount. It's a little bit less than necessary because they weren't down here for super long, and they take the cart ride up to the tannery and over to the city.
While we're in the
Yep.
Well, hold on. While we're in the carriage, I'll cast sending to White Scales. So I can do that now. I'll say, on our way back to Rainmere, going to try to get Dieter's help. We're planning something. Keep you updated. I have one more word. That's all I'll say. I won't use the last word.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna say like smiley emoji. And you can respond to that with 25 words.
Before White Scales responds, we'll switch cameras back to them in Raylan's office, and he kind of looks at him exasperately, like, "Why do you do this to me?"
I apologize, Master. I feel this would be. I just feel it. And I understand the situation that puts you in. And I apologize for that.
Yes. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take a firmer hand with you in the very near future. How about a night in the holding pens? How about that? Come on, let's go. And he exits the door out of the barracks and towards the sound where you heard the screaming, and begins to mess with some keys on his key ring that he keeps on his belt. This is like a dim hallway. There are many little cells here, and a lot of them are occupied. It's very dark here. With your dark vision, you can see the glints of eyes as they look at you in the dark, and it's a bunch of tabaxi women, cat women. The ones that you see are extremely pregnant, and he opens up a cell door at the end of the hallway and opens it up and moves in. He just motions like this and says, "Get in. This is where you'll sleep tonight."
I'm not surprised. Well, you've certainly been busy down here.
A lot of product to move. And I hope to invite you into the spoils one day, but not with the way that you've been behaving. And if I'm feeling generous, maybe I'll toss breakfast your way tomorrow.
Thank you, Master. You are very generous.
More than you know. And he closes the door as he puts you into the cell, locks it. You've got a bed of straw for the night and a bucket.
Mm.
And then you get a ping from Glimmer in your head.
Oh shit! How many words do I have? 25.
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would know that. I don't know if you would know how sending works.
Yeah.
I don't know if you just start talking and if you'd like maybe assume that I'm using my other power.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I trust you'll do what's right. And I'll end it there.
Okay.
The party that are not locked up for the night make it to the top of Tammy Taggart's and back in to Rainmere. The sun is just beginning to set. It is nearing the designated time to rendezvous with Pavel if you still want to do that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "What happened to White Skills?"
He'll be
like that.
You see him.
Engaged, actually.
We de-aged him.
He's in the he's in a alleyway. When he sees you coming, he kind of darts behind. He's a gnome, just for everyone's.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
What was the rendezvous?
It was across the street from In Like a Lion Laundry, which is like a speakeasy. He said.
Is it an actual inn?
It's a speakeasy, so it's like a drinking hole. That's it.
All right.
He moves back into the alleyway and like gives you room as if to open up space for conversation. He scans you all and says, "What happened to the big guy?"
Not important right now.
No, it actually is extremely important, and the business that we are going to handle did not go well, and our friend has been reclaimed by his previous owners, and we need your help.
Oh, okay. Let's think about this.
Yes. Are you familiar with the Gilded Cage?
Yes.
It's them.
Okay.
Do you have any
Yeah, White Scales is
informants?
owned by Raylan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's now he's an up and up clerk now down in the underworld. Last I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We can figure this out.
Thank you.
Is he in danger now?
He should be if we don't return for him by tomorrow.
Very
We're expecting
possibly.
some payment.
He is in danger right this very moment.
Yes.
Not mortal danger, but yes.
I believe it is mortal danger.
Hmm.
We
I
just
don't think
not in
that.
that
I
bargain
don't
with.
think, I don't think
You're
that
not in that
Raylan
room with him.
would damage his most prized possession at this point in time.
Uh,
By tomorrow will be dangerous, I'm sure, and then if he loses, then whatever is after that will also be dangerous. But right now, I think he's all right. He responded to I sent him a message as we were taking the carriage back. He seems all right.
Why bother with these people? You should never let him be taken.
That's what I thought too, but
We were respecting his wishes. He wanted to
How he
negotiate
chose-
for his freedom, yes.
It's how he wanted to do it, and I don't think it was a good idea.
Some
But
people make
is
stupid
the way
decisions,
things
and it's
went.
up to you smarties to tell him that he should know freaking better.
I mean,
think
as smart
there was no convincing him, I don't think. He
No,
wanted
it's-
to do it that way.
No, excuse me, Dita. When it comes to personal matters, I believe that you're allowed to choose your own business, and I'm not making that decision for him. Now, do you know anyone within the auction house of the Shadowport that has any information, or can you provide any information, or we're going back down there? You can finish your little dead drop thing.
Yeah, I'd still like your help on it if you don't think that it's like up for the if he's not going to die. I'd like to take care of the Shadowport thing and then double dip. If I'm meant to go into the underworld, I'd like to know if there's anything I can find about my ongoing investigation in there.
Sure, we'll help each other.
Okay, so we'll hit the guy in the dead drop tonight. Then we'll go to the Shadowport in the middle of the night and spring your friend.
Okay.
We have a different idea, but we'll talk about it.
Your idea is procuring money we can't possibly get.
What's this about money?
Possible.
Do you happen to
White
have
scales.
7,000 golden wheels on your
Excuse me.
person?
I got
What?
7,000 fake golden wheels.
Yeah, exactly. There's ways. Well, they can probably tell because they're probably used to that. But White Scales, instead of speaking how he felt, he suggested that he have a fight for his own freedom, and I thought that might be an easier way to deal with things. The problem is we do need to offer up 7,000 gold, which frankly I do believe would be easier to rob the bank than it would be to rob the Gilded Cage. So that is another option.
You'd think that, but they're swarming, and then you're making two enemies with one heist. So if that's the path you're going on, I don't want to be a part of that. But I do have some counterfeit wheels lying around. You're right; it won't stand up to scrutiny for very long. But if you got a top layer of good gold, they're not going to count all of it.
We got that.
We could do that.
I just think that striking at Raylan while the fight is happening would be easier. I mean, nothing will be easy.
There'll be a crowd.
Yes. But if we can make it look like an accident, then...
I like the way you think. Okay, let's do this then. Let's hit the dead drop and then discuss where to go from there once we have new information.
Thank you. Truly.
And that's where we're going to end off for today. What a roller coaster.
We've got a boy.
So we'll be streaming next on Wednesday at 6 p.m. If you're looking for other things to watch in the meantime, we've got our Game Master Tyler streaming Magic the Gathering from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. We also have Tavern Talks with our very own Sir Gwydion, otherwise known as Lily. What are you talking about?
Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Moonpunk, which is a really cool Powered by the Apocalypse game. Which is really neat, created by a lot of really cool people and can teach you a lot of really interesting things.
Is it it's a tabletop role-playing game, right?
Yeah, it's a tabletop role-playing game. It's a lot simpler to get into than D&D, so if you like story narratives, this is a great way to do that and to show other people some great like tactics and stuff to fight moon fascists and stuff. It's great.
Ooh, yeah, kill the moon fascists. Screw those guys. Great. I'd like to remind you that we are now Twitch affiliated. So if you like this content that we're putting out between Tales from the Shadowlands, Magic with Tyler, and Tavern Talks, please consider dropping us a subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter to get up-to-date information about our plans surrounding COVID-19 and for that very precious announcement of when we're finally going to be able to open again and welcome people into our physical store, shake each other's hands, and play games together. Until that time, you've been great. Stay healthy. Stay dicey. We love you. Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye, guys.